Okay, guys. So, um, I don't know if a lot of you guys know me or Lauren, or if you've just kind of found us as a team. Lauren has 5 boys, a massive garden, like almost 100 meat birds, and eggs and farm chores and all the things. And like we've talked about, her fifth is deaf, and so he is at like a not really at school because they homeschool, but like at school. Um, so he's at a program for the deaf that he attends pretty much every day of the week. And I think in the summer it's a half day. And so we've been trying to get together and we tried to record an episode a couple weeks at this point now. I think it was a week ago. And it didn't work out. So, the quality didn't work out. The conversation was fine. The quality didn't work out. And then my phone died randomly in the middle of it because it was too hot. So I'm just going to jump on and in between our long videos, I'm going to go ahead and do like short ones about things that I'm thinking about or stuff that I've learned or found interesting and been able to like take value in it and just share it with you guys. So that is what I'm doing. My hands are blue because we dyed our hair yesterday. You can't, there it is, kind of. So it's like a green blue. So that is kind of what's happening. Lauren's not leaving the team. We're just working it out to where I can continue pursuing this while she's taking care of the responsibilities that she had well before we started this. So that is where she's at. She's not. We're fine. We were gonna record this morning, and then her side of the Metroplex got wrecked with storms, and I don't know if y'all have little people, but they tend to not like being woken up in the middle of the night with big scary storms. So they're all resting today, and it is much needed rest. So I wanted to. I was about to go work out, so this is not like a weird outfit from the 90s, even though I do have a lot of those and I love them. So this morning I'm heading to a book club with people I don't know that I met on the internet, and we're reading this book, and I was really hesitant to pick it up because it felt like it was probably going to be fluffy, and I'm just not in that place. But my son really wanted to participate in the book club. After I told him he was going to participate in the book club, he got on board and then started reading his book and was kind of disappointed when he wasn't going to be able to attend. And then this morning, we realized that we had the free time, so we are actually going to go. Yeah, we still have time. We're actually going to go this morning, and so I picked up this book and tried to read as much as possible. And it's really good so far. So I wanted to read this one line that stuck out to me. It made me think like this is kind of the driving force behind the podcast and why I've shared my story so openly and why I continue to push for like reconciliation and sharing your story. So here's a quote, and this quote I didn't know this before I started this process, but it just ties in, so I want to share it this morning. Okay, Madeline Lang, I don't know how to say her name. It says, reminds us that God often works through the most seemingly unqualified people to reveal his glory, and so does Scripture. There is beauty in the brokenness. So I just wanted to remind you guys that even though you feel probably unqualified to do whatever you feel like you're supposed to do, and you feel like it's probably not going to be big enough or done well, I'm literally recording this on my phone because I do not know how to use the MacBook that I have. And it has been like a cluster. Sorry, that was weird. A cluster every time I've tried to do this, but I'm doing it, and it is just what we're doing, and it is not done well, and it is awkward and like exhausting mentally because I just feel kind of like a weirdo doing this. So that is definitely an unqualified person category in my mind. So just do it, whatever it is. I want to encourage you to, if you feel like you're supposed to start a t-shirt company and make shirts or stickers or sell curriculum or whatever it is, if you feel this fire in your heart to do something, don't dismiss it. Kind of lean into it. I have alluded to this. I wrote a book a few years ago, and I recently posted that I'm really glad that it kind of failed because I wrote it with the idea that writing that book would propel me into like a gin hat maker sphere. That was really my goal, was to like tour with her. You know, that was kind of like the big one. And while I was writing it, I realized that's not going to happen because her and I don't see eye to eye on a couple things that are kind of important. I think she's great. I also think that there's a lot of people who are great who have said weird things that make you question. Anyways, that's not where we're going with this. It just didn't work out. Like it kind of flopped pretty much overnight, and I had like supportive people who purchased the book, but that was really it. And I'm really glad because those people love me regardless of how vain that book was written and how out of context a lot of that scripture was. So I'm very grateful that it didn't take off and that I've had to kind of just reevaluate what I wanted because I still want the same thing. I still want people to be reconciled to the worth that they were created with. But now it is more a place of like my heart's desire versus like if I did this and got speaking engagements, I would make this much money or whatever. So that is like, I don't know. So you may not take off overnight. It may not be like this, the next best selling author on Amazon or whatever. But if you just start doing what you feel like you're called to do, eventually you'll know what you're supposed to like. Sorry, my kids are being really disrespectful right now and trying to get in the room and pick a lock. So hold on. Okay, they were trying to pick a lock because the dog is crying at the door because that's what she does. But what I was saying was, I don't know what I was saying. I literally lost my train of thought. Basically, I think just leaning into what you're called to do, you'll find that if it's like a real calling and not a vain desire, you'll know and you'll pursue it wholeheartedly, and it won't matter if one person gets the benefit of it or thousands of people get the benefit of it. It'll just be like you're doing what you feel like you're supposed to do, and the people who need it or want it have access to it, and so that's like a great start. Okay, there's one more quote I highlighted. I don't know, I'd say highlight. I underlined a lot of stuff in this book. I was actually not even going to read it, and I was going to return it, and then I started reading it and started writing in it, so now it is mine forever. He talks in this book about Rembrandt and his self-portraits. Actually, no. He does talk about Rembrandt, but right now he's talking about Van Gogh's self-portraits. And he's talking about how Van Gogh had like a ton of different self-portraits, like with different themes and styles and art styles, which is really cool as an artist. If you think about that, that's a really cool way of doing things. Sorry, that light is probably bothering somebody. I apologize. And he talked about the his most famous one is when he cut off his ear and has his head bandaged. That's like the one that he preferred too. Like Van Gogh preferred that one, and then that's the one that was the most real. Sorry, that was another interruption. He's talking about the self portraits that Van Gogh did and how he had a bunch of different versions, and so in here he's talking about rendering an honest self portrait a lot of times in our self-portraits, like in like social media would be a self-portrait in my mind, like what we portray online publicly. Like if we're trying to hide the unattractive and broken, we are, what does he say? And we want to appear beautiful. We hide what needs redemption. So, I mean, like, obviously, you don't want people to see like love handles and like your double chin. Those need, those aren't really like redemption needing. I feel like sometimes mine do, but that's a whole different category of conversation. So we try to hide like this brokenness. We try to put on like the church face, or the public face, or what, if you're not a church person, like the face of like everything's good and everything's fine. And you're not giving like space for the people who might be able to speak into you to come in and speak like over whatever situation is. You're also not giving yourself like the freedom to have friends who actually see you, because if you only portray one version of yourself, they're only going to know that version. And so he's talking about the idea that like our self-portrait needs to be real and not one that's like hiding all of our issues, that's why this is an awkward podcast, because when you think about it, like most people don't listen to podcasts for that are like, hey, I was sexually abused and did drugs for a long time, and like, I don't know, I mean, I guess they're out there. A lot of podcasts that I've listened to are about ADHD and true crime. So sorry. Most people don't want to put out their honest like person, and they want to put out like the social media worthy person. That's what I was getting at. But it does a disservice to your friendships and your own quality of life to not have people who see you for who you are. Sorry, this is just, it is what it is. But I just wanted to encourage you, put out your real self-portrait, be true to who you are and how you feel about things. And I'm going to end with one more quote. This book is really good if you like art or spiritualizations. I would recommend this one. I have to find the page now. The author's posing this question. I'm concealing from others the fact that I'm broken. My wounds need binding. I need asylum. And if I can't show that honestly, how will anyone see Christ in me? Or worse, what sort of Christ will they see? So those are two good questions. Also want to ask, like, how can anyone see me? Like, if you're struggling with connection, make yourself more connectable. That sounded weird, but that's kind of like, not only as like a Christian, what are you portraying like Christ to look like? Also as just like a human, what kind of connections are you going to be able to make if you're only putting out this fake person? So that is my encouragement for you guys today. I love you. Stay awkward. Thank you for enduring this with us. We're probably gonna have to do like these kinds of videos with me, and then Lauren will come in when our schedules line up just right, because I'm not kidding, getting the schedule of 7 kids lined up plus 2 adults and our spouses. And I don't know if you know this about her husband, but he's like an incredibly talented builder. Not really a builder though, because he doesn't like build homes. He does Airstream stuff. He's really talented. I think their YouTube channel is Miller Garage TV, I think is what it is. I don't watch it because I 100% would like want to get an Airstream and convert it. And then I would be sad when my husband told me no, because he would tell me no. So, but I am subscribed and I support them and I love them. I just don't watch their stuff because I'd be sad. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing for a while. So I love y'all. Talk to you later. Stay awkward. Bye.